The big opportunity is to merge both those ideas together. That's why
Yes,
I'm cool with
for sure.
regulation. If we can get the government to regulate it and put some rules around it, you get a spigot of capital, as we've talked about. You're absolutely right. But as a store of value, you got the whole world wanting to look at Bitcoin. They just need policy and compliance. And then, Katie, bar the doors. I keep saying it because the opportunity, you want to see Bitcoin at 100,000 and above, you got to get the sovereign dudes involved. My answer, the Pomp shoves this in my face every time we do an interview together. He takes the old tape from CNBC and shoves it right up where the sun doesn't shine. I got to deal with that guy every friggin' week, okay? Just over and over again. But my point is, when the market changes, I change. When there's I'm not stubborn. I have to be realistic about what works and what doesn't. I truly believe, 100%, I tell regulators this too, within a decade, crypto will be the 12th sector of the S&P 500. We have to realize that there's so much intellectual capital going into problem solving around payment systems, around tokenization, around NFTs, authenticating physical assets. There's so much going on that you gotta be a student of it. You have to do it. You have to understand it. Otherwise, you're gonna be left behind. I've got a whole team in my operating company that does nothing except crypto. We're looking around the world for new projects. I'm very fortunate. I get opportunities all the time. I'm at 20% of our operating company's balance sheet in all kinds of crypto opportunities because I get the joke. I understand where it's going. Now, if you're not willing to take the time to educate yourself and build a team around you that can do the analysis, well, I think you'll be a loser. I think you'll underperform the overall market. I think you'll miss out on this new nascent sector that's coming into the market. You've got to embrace it. You've got to understand it. You've got to learn by buying it, managing it, understanding the volatility, and watching it. That's how it works. I think the big opportunity is to merge both those ideas together. That's why I'm cool with regulation. Sure. If we can get the government to regulate it and put some rules around it, you get a spigot of capital, as we've talked about. You're absolutely right. But as a store of value, you got the whole world wanting to look at Bitcoin. They just need policy and compliance. And then, Katie, bar the doors. I keep saying it because the opportunity, you want to see Bitcoin at 100,000 and above, you got to get the sovereign dudes involved. Here's how I'm playing the crypto as an investor and as an entrepreneur, because I'm looking at it saying to myself, what discipline worked for me for 30 years in stocks and bonds and traditional assets? And that was the rule of diversification. And a lot of people say to me, I only need to own Bitcoin. I get that. That is the granddaddy asset, but it doesn't mean you can't own anything else. I think the opportunity is to get diversification and make sure that you have a plethora of different opportunities. I think crypto itself is a brand new sector. We talked about that earlier. So I'm a big believer in NFTs. I'm a big believer in the other projects, other payment systems. That's why I bought a piece of Circle. I mean, it's sort of like, give me diversification. But the asset that I want to get regulated first, it's gotta be Bitcoin. Says, why are we so far behind on that? That means anybody could just, if they wanted to own some Bitcoin, could just buy the ETF, stick it in their online account, pay no fees practically for owning it. That would be the right way to do it, to broaden the market to everybody. Look, I know Michael, and we're friends, and we don't have to agree on everything, okay? My whole point is, how's that working out for him right now, okay? It's great to say that when it's 60,000. It's not so easy to do it here when it's, it's fibrillated between 20 and 23,000. My point is, until we have institutional support, and Michael admitted this just this week on CNBC, he wants the institutions to be able to buy it. That's what would give it stability. And the way that mechanism works is that if I'm a sovereign fund and I'm being indexed by a company like mine, and they tell me they want to keep a 5% weighting in Bitcoin, every time that position drops below 5%, I'm a buyer, I'm the bidder, I'm the market. And Michael realizes now that's why there's so much volatility in the underlying value of Bitcoin, and we're not going to have less volatility till we get that bid. But the upside for all of us, whether you agree or not, is price appreciation. That's what matters. You own coin today at 23,000. You wait and see what happens after it becomes regulated. you'll own coin at 100 and above thousand because the rest of the market can participate. And I think that's the most important message everybody can get their head around when they engage in Bitcoin. So the question is, where's the middle ground that lets the sovereign wealth guys buy Bitcoin?
Oh, sure,
How do we get there? How do we get there? I got to tell you, I talk to these boys every day. Unlimited amount of capital ready to come at it when they get compliance infrastructure, when they get policy. We got to get there. I mean, it's time to get there now. It really is. Let's get there. And then everybody, if you want to own all your assets in Bitcoin, that's cool. At least you've got policy around it. If you want to have, diversity and you want some Swiss francs, you want some Bitcoin, you want some Ethereum, you want some Solana, you want some Polygon, okay too. Let the market be broad for everybody. My point is, rarely can you have stability when all your assets are in one asset class. You get a lot of vol there. But I want to have a lot in Bitcoin. When I say 20% in what I've got across crypto positions, I got 32 positions. The largest right now is Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think it's very important. I think it's the essence of, using this technology and to create a great democracy in financial services. I totally get that. But I urge everybody that's going to get involved in crypto, including my own kids and my extended family and all the people that call me. And, I've got millions of social media followers always asking me questions about this. I say start small. Take $1,000. Open up a decentralized wallet, maybe your MetaMask, open up an account somewhere on a centralized wallet, buy a little Bitcoin, understand how it works. You don't have to break the bank, do $100, whatever it is, just start to engage in the platforms so you understand the strengths of centralized, the weaknesses of decentralized and vice versa. Just get into it and start to learn. You don't have to go nuts. But what you learn in that process, just watching your phone, watching the pricing, understanding how you can take, fiat currency and transmit it into your account and then convert it to Bitcoin or go through stablecoin, whatever you want, and understand what gas fees are and all this stuff, do it yourself. Actually, take some dough, put it into a decentralized, and do it yourself. Nothing is better than that. Well, I've gone beyond that now because I have a compliance department. I have auditors that are external. I have to report to regulators all around the world each month and each quarter, each year. I've tried, and I want to disclose something here. I'm a shareholder in FTX. I'm also a paid spokesperson. I'm a big believer in what Sam Bankman-Fried is doing. It depresses me that he's not stateside, that he has to stay on the Caribbean islands. Nuts. We got to get policy to bring all that talent back to the U.S. But it took me a whole year to set up an FTX account, get all the compliance infrastructure within my own compliance officers. And you can't tell your compliance officer what to do. They are in an independent vertical. They're watching over you, and yet you hired them. So I'm using FTX because it's the closest one in terms of compliance to an institutional trading platform. But it took me a whole year. That's how long. And I finally got the position up to 20% of the portfolio, and I have to report it daily, weekly, monthly. There's so much work to be done. There's so much work to be done to get crypto up to where we're at with stocks and bonds. And that's the challenge the industry has. I'm an advocate for it, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of work to be done.